Hey guys, it's Carolyn from All Day I Dream About Food. You want to hear something crazy? I have created so many recipes over the years that I actually forget about some of them. On occasion, I go back through my blog and I find one of the really good ones that I want to remake. And sometimes I like to see if I can make them better than ever. So that's why today we're making my Keto Chocolate Zucchini Cake. Now, as with any zucchini baked good, we're going to start with some zucchini. And I am taking a medium zucchini here and I'm going to shred most of it and then I'm going to measure out 2 cups. And I'm just using a box grater to grate my zucchini, but I'm going to use the small holes so that it's more finely grated. Okay, now that I have grated all my zucchini, I'm going to measure out 2 cups. And I'm not going to pack it in, I'm just going to sort of lightly put it in there. There's about 1 cup, transfer it to a bowl. Now in order to simplify the recipe, I'm going to do something a little different this time. I am not going to salt and drain my zucchini. I'm going to add it as is. It'll add plenty of moisture and that way I can just cut back on the additional liquid. Now we can whisk together our dry ingredients. So I have 2 cups of almond flour, 2/3 cup of granular sweetener, and I'm using Swerve, 6 tablespoons of Dutched cocoa powder, and I use Dutched because it typically has a more rich chocolate flavor, 1/3 cup of coconut flour, 1/3 cup of protein powder, and you can use whey protein or you can use egg white protein, a full tablespoon of baking powder to help it rise properly, and about 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And we'll just stir those together until they're well mixed. Now we'll start adding our wet ingredients. So I have 4 large eggs, and then you add 1/2 cup of melted butter or oil. I actually have a combination here. I have a 1/4 cup of butter and a 1/4 cup of walnut oil, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, and our shredded zucchini. And we'll just break everything up and whisk together until it's well combined. At this point, your batter might feel a little bit thick, and that all depends on how much liquid your zucchini had in it, what your coconut flour does, and what your cocoa powder does. So you may need to add a little bit of liquid to thin it out to a pourable consistency. I highly recommend a little leftover coffee as your liquid because coffee brings out a deeper chocolate flavor. If you just want to use water, that's fine too. And I wouldn't add more than about a 1/4 cup until you see what the batter's like. Stir it carefully. Mix it all in. And this is looking really good to me. So we're going to get it into our pan and into the oven. Now for this cake, I like to use a bundt pan because I love the presentation of it. But you can also use a 9-inch round pan or a 9x9 square pan. I don't recommend a loaf pan because it's just too much batter for that. But I'm going to take my batter and spread it evenly in the bottom of my pan. And once you've got all your batter in there, you can give it a little shake to even it out nicely. Now we're ready to bake. It goes in at 350 for 30 to 40 minutes. How long it takes will depend on your pan and your oven. So keep your eye on it. Okay guys, our cake is done and I have flipped it out onto a platter and it looks beautiful. Check that out. Now, you could enjoy it just as is, but I'm going to make a lovely chocolate glaze for it. So I'll set that aside for a second. So I've brought 1/2 cup of cream to a simmer, and I'm going to add 2 ounces of chopped unsweetened chocolate. Get it all in there and just let it sit for a few minutes until it melts. And I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of powdered sweetener. This is powdered Swerve, and 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract. You can just let it sit there for a few moments while the chocolate melts. Then grab yourself a small whisk and whisk until smooth. And once you've whisked it nicely, it should be like a chocolate ganache. Pretty thin at this point. The longer you leave it, it will thicken up. But this seems nice, a good consistency. And now we can take our lovely chocolate glaze and just pour it over the top of our cake slowly, letting it drizzle down the sides. Okay, you guys, check this out. Now that is one gorgeous keto chocolate zucchini cake. Now, normally I would tell you that you should stick it in the fridge for a little bit to set the glaze, but I can't help myself, I want to dig in. So let's cut a slice. Look at that, guys, it's beautiful! And I am digging right in. I gotta do a dance. What was I doing earlier? I had a good one and now I can't remember what it was. No, I think that is absolutely divine. If you're growing zucchini this summer, you need to put this on your list. It's a must make. For more delicious keto cake recipes and keto zucchini recipes, please check out alldayidreamaboutfood.com.